Dennis Lehane, author of more than a dozen novels, many of which have been turned into hit films. Now Lehane is out with the book he says may be his swan song, Small Mercies. It takes place, like almost all of Lehane's work, in Boston during a seminal moment for the city. You said that you thought only real people come from New York, Boston, Philly, that area. Has that changed?
Yeah. Yes. I've broadened my horizons.
Even though California is now home, Dennis Lehane continues to be defined by Boston. One moment in particular, the time his father took a wrong turn and the family wound up in the middle of a riot.
If you're not going to disperse, you're going to be arrested.
I was flabbergasted. I still am flabbergasted. I remember just kind of buffeting our way through this massive crowd, people screaming, and it was medieval.
Let us go to our neighborhoods where our kids are safe.
It changed everything in some ways. I always feel like childhood kind of ended there for me in a lot of ways.
The desegregation of Boston schools began in 1974.
I wouldn't care if they were green or purple. It's the idea of putting my kid on a bus when I have a school right across the street from where they should go.
Black students were ordered to be bused to white neighborhoods and vice versa, leading to widespread violence.
And while we was in school, there was throwing glass at black people and little kids.
Lehane's new book, Small Mercies, tells the story of a mom named Mary Pat Fennessy, whose daughter goes missing amidst all that.
Mary Pat is a product of growing up in a housing project. She is a chain-smoking, foul-mouthed, alcoholic, racist, single mom.
She's all those things, and yet you find yourself rooting for her.
Yes, because she's trying not to be. At the very least, she's trying not. She's open to the possibility that her entire life has been built on a lie.
Lehane started publishing in the 1990s, but his name wasn't on most radars until Clint Eastwood turned Mystic River into a movie in 2003.
Tell us, Mr. Boyle, how did you get the blood in your car? What blood? Let's start with the front seat.
That was followed by more, like Martin Scorsese's Shutter Island.
How do you believe a crazy guy? That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Crazy people, they're the perfect subjects. They talk, nobody listens.
And two directed by Ben Affleck, including Gone Baby Gone.
Why is this so hard? The cops don't want me coming here. Lionel don't want me coming here. Now you don't want the job?
No, it's not that we don't want the job.
We consult privately before we make decisions like these.
We do.
So many of your books, I mean, an uncommon amount, you know,
Yeah.
get made into movies.
Yeah.
Is that always the plan for you?
No. I never thought. I didn't want to sell Mystic River. That was only because Clint Eastwood wooed me and wore me down. And
Nothing like being wooed by Clint
I know,
Eastwood.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Clint will say, whatever you say to him, he'll say, I'll say, look, it's not for sale. And he'd say, oh, I know that. But if it were, and he just keeps wearing you down and wearing you down.
So what was the Scorsese sell?
Scorsese? I mean,
fair enough.
How'd you get in? It's not visiting day.
The fellows here, they gave me a pass.
Lately, Lehane has transitioned to television, developing the show Blackbird before signing a longer deal with Apple TV. This is the workshop.
This is where we work. It's a writer's room.
So you come up, you storyboard it, and then you're like, all right, you're writing this episode, you're writing this episode.
Mm-hmm. And then they turn them into me, and then usually I give them notes, and they write again. And then they turn it back into me, and then I give them one last round of notes, and then I take it over. That's kind of how it works.
And how much you change it?
Not too much. I got good writers, so normally it goes through a tone filter. Like, I'm the tone filter. It should all sound similar in tone. Let's just do Freddie from, top to bottom, see where these scenes go, see where there's opportunities.
Before his next TV show is out, however, Lehane is eager to talk about Small Mercies.
It's basically the division in the city between people who were authentically racist and didn't want African Americans in their community.
Hell no, we won't go! Hell no, we won't go!
And people who were authentically saying, hey, wait a second, we had no voice in this. You're telling us we got to bus our kids to another, section of the city, and we have no say in that, and we got 90 days to figure it out. There was a legitimate side to the argument. Then there was obviously a very racist side to the argument.
Boston schools are more segregated today than they were when the busing started.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
I think so many things went. Look, I'm 100% for desegregation of the schools. It had to happen. There's an argument in the book where a woman says very clearly something had to happen. It had to. But busing itself was not a good idea. It didn't work. The proof is in the pudding.
There are moments in this book where this horrible, painstaking stuff is taking place. And yet I marked it, then there's these moments of humor.
Yeah.
That are like, this doesn't belong here, but it does.
But it does. It does. It absolutely does. You know, and I've been out in the world. I've met a lot of people. I've never met anybody half as funny as half of the people I knew growing up in Boston. It's a funny place. Yeah. But the humor is all steeped in this idea that you're the butt of God's joke. You know, the house always wins, but every now and then, you break their antenna, you key their car, you know what I mean? Like something, you know, you steal their sister, like something's gonna happen, you know? That's as good as it gets. I will never set another book outside Boston again. If I ever write another book, it will be in Boston.
Why?
Because I did it once and it didn't feel right.
If Small Mercies is his swan song novel, it comes in typical Dennis Lehane fashion. Heartbreaking, yet completely unsentimental.
Does part of it make you a little reflective and sad, though?
If there's another book, I'll do it. I'll be happy to do it. No, if I was literally walking off into the sunset, like, I'm done, I'm going to go play golf. You know what I mean?
So you're not doing that.
I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in retirement. I don't believe in any of that. I just happen to be now in a job that allows me to be creative, that allows me to tell stories, most importantly, allows me to be around other people. I was really tired of the lifestyle.
I like that.
And that's that big difference between, you know, sitting in an office by yourself all day long writing a novel versus being able to collaborate.
You know, he seems so much brighter than his work. I mean,
his work is dark.
It is very dark.
Yeah.
And so it's so nice to see that, you know, he is light.
You know, he said that to us too. I mean, he's a fun guy to talk to, very charming, but his work it's tough. I mean, there's not a lot of happy endings in Dennis Lehane books.
It's really remarkable, just the breadth of work that he has had and will continue to do.
Yeah.
That was a great conversation.
Kia ka.
Yeah, sister.
Yeah.